Hey guys, we're live from Colorado Springs.
Yes.
This is Andrei Smirnov for the Fast Lane Car, and with me is...
Paul Gerard with the Fast Lane Car.
Yes.
And also with the NV8 Hypercar.
Yes, and we're in Colorado Springs because of the 2017 Pikes Peak International Hill Climb, and you're participating.
I am participating, yes.
And you're hoping to win.
Sure.
Win?
Yes. Win.
Yes. Win.
It's a thing.
So you have a very special racing car.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's built specifically for this race.
Yes, it is.
We walk around the car, and can you show me around?
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to allow this.
All right, guys, I'm going to switch the camera, and we can walk around this car.
That's me.
There you go.
I won't go far. I have a leash. He gave me a leash.
Okay. There's the beauty.
Yep.
So tell me about it. I mean, what was the genesis of this?
Well, it's basically was a madman's idea, and he's standing right over there. But Cody Loveland has a shop called Love Flap, which is based up in Michigan, and Cody built basically a tube chassis, and it was built specifically for Pikes Peak. So it's really a prototype, as you can see, like a car that would race at Le Mans. It was designed to be a Le Mans type car with the kind of aerodynamics that those cars have, but also be able to handle the conditions of Pikes Peak, which are very different than Le Mans, and that means it's got more suspension travel and all those things, because it's a very unique event to race up the hill climb.
And special aero, right?
Tons of aero.
Yeah.
So it's got loads and loads of aero. It makes about 7,000 pounds of downforce at 150 miles an hour, and it only weighs 2,000 pounds. So it makes much more downforce than it weighs. So yeah, the old analogy of would it stick to the ceiling, it would do that at about 100 miles an hour. And yeah, it's got about 1,000 horsepower to the wheels, and also weighs about 2,000 pounds. So amazing power to weight ratio.
So what class are you in?
Unlimited, of course.
Unlimited.
Yes,
Unlimited.
Where it's one of the only places in motorsports in the world today that has no rules. And that's kind of awesome, because then you can build something like this, right? So
Yes.
that's the whole idea.
Can we actually lift the panel or look inside? I mean,
Well, you can look in. It's kind of, it takes a little bit of work to pop things off because all the bodywork's
tell me
attached.
about the motor. I mean, what is it based on?
It's a Chevy LS, so a 4.8 liter aluminum LS, which really usually comes in a truck, but it's a built engine with pistons, rods, the whole thing, and of course 2 Garrett turbochargers on there, so Honeywell Garrett turbos, and so it makes about 1,000 to the wheels, and it does it quite easily running on gasoline, 118 octane. We have a sponsor of Sunoco, so that's kind of really nice, and yeah, and it's really, this car is all about, if you think of a car like this, it's sort of like a fighter jet. If you think of it like everyone's like, so is this faster than a Ferrari? It's like it's not even a comparison to a Ferrari, because a Ferrari is a road car. This is built to be like, it's like saying, is a Learjet like an F-22. So really different type of performance, and so you end up with a good road car will pull maybe the stuff we test at Fastlane, right?
Yeah, 500 horsepower.
Yeah,
right?
500 horsepower car. It maybe
weighs
2 tons, and it pulls a little over a G cornering. Go down even lower, you can see like up into the diffusers on this car. This is how it makes this crazy amount of downforce. Is this diffuser is taking air from the front, it comes out the back here, and it hits the wing. So even in Formula One, they're not allowed to run a diffuser like this, because we have no rules. We can make it much bigger and much more effective. So we make more downforce than really any other form of racing for how much drag it produces. So,
and what did you say the displacement was on the
so
motor?
4.8, all aluminum. LS,
So
Chevy
the
LS
question
V8.
was, why not like a 5.3 or a 6.2? I mean,
That's just the one we could build, and so you have thicker cylinder walls with the smaller ones, right? So you end up with more boost potential that you can cram down the thing's neck, and of course the race starts at 9,400 feet and goes to 14,000 feet. So it's all about the boost. And
so talk a little bit more about the race itself. I mean, the distance, how grueling it is.
yeah, 156 turns, 12.42 miles, and the surface is unbelievably bumpy. That's the thing that you can't tell from watching online videos of Pikes Peak or on YouTube, as I study all the time. You just don't realize what a poor condition the surface is in, and it's not because they have bad pavers in Pikes Peak. The reason is the mountain actually is continuously changing. So there's actually the mountain is moving, and it just messes with the road.
Right.
So the road is just all undulating and twisting, and whenever they repave it, like 6 months later, it's back. It's just a mess again. So when you're trying to take a prototype like this, you're usually running on a billiard table smooth racetrack, and you can run it really low to the ground. There's no bumps on the whole track. This thing's just littered with bumps. It's worse than probably whatever road you think's a bad road that's on your daily commute. The Pikes Peak is worse than that.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to race a 1,000 horsepower, 2,000 pound car up.
That sounds pretty crazy. I mean, there's some areas with no guardrail. I mean, you really have to be 100%.
I actually prefer the areas with no guardrail because hitting guardrail hurts in a car like this. So you're probably better off like sliding down the slope a little bit, not flying too far, hopefully. But it is for those of you that have never been up the mountain, it starts at, as I said, 9,400 feet, goes to 14,110 feet, and it does that in 12 miles. So the gradient is crazy. It's got hairpin switchbacks, all these tight types of corners, but also it has 140 and 50 mile an hour corners in it as well. So it presents a real challenge, and that's why I think it's always, you have to be humble when you come here because you never know what the mountain's going to throw at you. It's up to the mountain, the weather. Today we were up there, we had fog roll in, we did one practice run and the fog came in and ruined it and we had to cancel it, so all that stuff's just constantly happening.
You have very young drivers coming into
Yes,
the car.
so we like to get them early and that way we can avoid any bad habits like people like you have developed over so many years.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about your book in a minute.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be
Drive.
good.
But can you show us the Cockpit Glow a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
Somebody's making fun and they're asking if this is faster than the Bugatti Chiron.
It's not even close how much faster it is. Now the Bugatti has a higher top speed, but we don't care about that. But this, as far as cornering, accelerating, as I was starting to say, this car will corner at about 5 Gs. It'll brake at a little over 5 Gs. And any road car is at about 1.4 G maximum of what it can do. So we're talking about almost 3.5 or 4 times the cornering potential of the very best road car in the world.
So who's your competition? I mean, who else is in this class? And
there's quite a few cars, and it varies a bit. But the big one, the guy that we're up against is Romain Dumas, who actually won the 24 Hours of Le Mans last year, and so he's a very good driver and a very good car, and he has, basically has won it the last couple of years. So he's the biggest competitor.
So tell me about the practice. How did this week turn out so far?
Better than we ever could have imagined because the car, while it sits here, we've only been driving it for about 2 weeks. So it's the first time it ever got to the track. So we've been on this sort of vertical learning curve with it, with everything we've been doing. And so every day we get a little smarter, we break stuff, we fix it, we get the setup a little bit more refined, and we keep going and going. And so we finally ended up this morning, the very last practice session, we were second overall out of the entire field, and we were only 1 second behind Romain Dumas, which was phenomenal. So that's by far the closest we've been, anyone else has been to him, and so that's a great way to end practice and get ready for the race on Sunday.
And you're starting 7th? Or what?
We're starting 7th. So qualifying was done on Tuesday, and that vertical learning curve, we weren't quite as far along, and we actually had a water pump failure. One of our 2 water pumps went out about 2/3 of the way up the run, so the water temperature spiked. I had to get out of the gas and sort of drive very carefully to the finish line to qualify. And so we lost 10 or 15 seconds doing that, and that stuck us in 7th. But that's fine. It's a great starting position.
How does it work? The motorcycles go first?
Yeah, in the morning, like 8 a.m. or so, the bikes start. They'll go for a couple of hours. Then they have to actually switch over a little bit of safety stuff they do on the courses for the cars, and then we'll roll out probably about 11 or 12.
Okay, and that should be probably the best time because weather is a big factor, right?
Ugh. Yeah, and the weather forecast, right? It's maybe going to snow, so all this stuff. Yeah, check out those carbon brakes from RPS Carbon. They're just phenomenal. I've never, in my 20 plus years of racing, felt brakes this good. By far the best brakes, and these aren't carbon ceramics like you get on a Corvette or a Porsche or a Ferrari. These are actual real carbon brakes, and they have crazy stopping power that you can do with those things. And you can see individual pucks on there. It's very unusual for how brakes to be built. And then these special Toyo racing slicks. So these are Toyo Praxis race tires, and so they have amazing grip. You can just stick your finger in these things. They're so gummy and soft. And remember, these tires only have to last 10 minutes. Then you throw them away.
Okay, sure. But
Yeah.
what if it rains or snows? I mean, do you have a little bit of a backup?
We have chains in the trunk.
Oh, chains?
Yeah, I run chains.
Chains.
No,
All-wheel drive?
no. It's actually just rear-wheel drive this car, but we'll actually run. We have a set of rain tires that are also even gummier than these, but we'll run those if we get weather.
Somebody just had a question saying, why is the rear wheel exposed here in the body?
Just part of the aerodynamics. It's all about getting air out of the radiators, which are in the side pods here. So here you can see the intercooler. Below that is the radiator and a V-mount. And so the air comes in the inlet on the left there and then travels through the side pod, and that's where some of the air comes out. Now, the aerodynamics on this car, it's actually a really interesting story. This car was built by a guy in a shop in Michigan, so it sounds like some guy came up with all the aero. Actually, the aerodynamics on this car comes from the Sauber Formula One team. So the aero on this car, why it's so efficient, why it's so fast, is because while it was, again, built by a single man, he did all the body work, did all this stuff, Cody did all that, the aerodynamics come from a Formula One team, so that's why this car is actually so fast. Well, that and 1,000 horsepower.
Somebody's asking, what is the transmission in this car?
It's a Porsche road transmission, believe it or not. I'm shifting an H-pattern gearbox in here, but it's built for racing. So this transmission's really strong, and it's actually really fun to shift.
That's really great. So, what time are you, targeting? Do you have a target for your time overall?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. So Sunday is about 2 days away.
Yeah, so we're trying to just get up the mountain cleanly. We're 2 goals. The car runs well all the way to the top, and I drive well, and let the time be the time. So I have no idea what it's going to be. We haven't ever driven this car a full run up Pikes Peak. You don't get to practice a full run. They break it into thirds, and you can try and add that stuff up, but it doesn't really work very well. So you just have to, see where it goes and just try and have a good, clean run. That's the key.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody at CFL will be rooting for you.
I would expect. Yeah, thank you.
That's a given, right?
Yeah, cool.
That's a given. This
I appreciate
car is
that.
amazing. Just look at all the front splitter. Am I getting this right?
Yeah, it's huge. You can see how long across it is. Like normally you see a splitter and it's here, but it runs all the way there. Again, this is all to feed we were showing the diffuser in the back, but the splitter is a big part of feeding that diffuser. Yeah. And so that's what gets you all the aerodynamics that we're talking about. This whole car just sucks itself.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's typical race car suspension, push rod design. And that's that diagonal bar that's in there, and then regular AA arms and the steering arm that's there as well. And some really special hubs from Palatov that are cool. So yeah, we've got so many cool little bits and pieces in this car, just designed to make it, kind of again that fighter jet for the road.
Can you take me along? Is there a second seat in here?
For you, we just get you to hang onto the wing. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, we've got many rolls of duct tape, so I don't think anything will go wrong.
40 miles an hour, I might come off, but.
Yeah, well, I might reach back and cut the tape at some point too.
So, have you walked around this fence?
I haven't. I just got here, so no, I haven't. I can't wait to. It should be good.
Yeah.
Are you going to go walk around?
Yeah. You want to walk around together?
Yeah, we could walk a little bit. Let's do it.
Okay. So hold on. Before we go, let's grab your book.
Oh, right.
Before we go. So, you wrote a book recently.
I might have. Yes.
So you might have. So. Sorry about this. Can you hold this?
Yeah. How about that?
A little higher.
Maybe I should show you going for the book.
I'm getting the book.
I'm feeling very narcissistic right now. I'm just filming myself.
And talking about your book.
And talking about my book. Yeah, I couldn't be more self-centered with my race car in the background. So. Yeah.
So how insane is 149 miles an hour?
It's good fun.
Yeah. Hold on. So here. So this is my personal copy. So please don't give this away.
Where you bought this?
Yes.
I owe you some money. I take it.
No. I wanted to be the first one to buy the book. So,
all right.
So I did it.
Cool.
Because we're buddies.
Yep. So Optimum Drive. I wrote this basically over the course of 4 years. And if you don't know my background, I've been in the automotive industry for over 20 years, and I also worked very high up in several of the racing schools around the country. And so this book is about driving, but it's also about a process to achieve greatness, because that's what a lot of people don't. They kind of get good at stuff and they stop. And for me, driving was always about seeing how far I could take it, how good I could get, and so that's where this book ended up, where I just noticed a lot of people, the skiing analogy of they stop on the blue runs. Well, there's black runs, and they're really way more fun than the blue runs, but people spend their life on the blue runs. And so this book's about getting to those black runs using that metaphor, and it's
And
really
is this
cool.
Your hypercar right here?
That's the car. That's kind of the cool part, isn't it?
Wow.
So
And
that's it. You got it. Yeah, there you go. Right about there. That's it.
That's a great thing.
So that's cool. Michael Castiglione, who's actually the head designer for Kia in North America, did those illustrations. So
Really great.
pretty cool. And there's a bunch more of the car inside. I use the car for all the illustrations in there.
So I'll be honest, I haven't finished the book yet.
Have you started it?
Yes.
How many pages are we talking about?
82.
82.
Yes.
It's pretty strong. What are you thinking?
I had a strong start, and then I paused in the middle when it got heavy. It got a little technical, and I wanted to spend more time with it.
Okay. It is. You realize there's absolutely no math in the book, right?
Yes.
There's zero.
A lot of
I made a
diagrams,
promise.
too.
And yeah,
Diagrams?
so that was my intention, was to make it really easy to read, and hopefully everyone will enjoy it.
Just hold it. I'll grab my bag real quick.
Okay.
So hold on.
Where are we going now? We're gonna walk?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
I'm holding that. He's holding this.
Let me get my bag.
This is how Facebook Live works. It's not a pretty process.
Hold on a
Thanks for staying on board. Andre is an expedition quality Everest backpack that he's about to put on. I think he's just come down from the mountain.
Yes. This is.
He's a part-time Sherpa. I'm not sure if you know that, but
Well, your car is amazing. Obviously, we'll be rooting for you, and let's walk around just a minute.
let's walk around.
Yeah.
Let's smidge on down the road here.
So we're in Colorado Springs. This is downtown area, and every year they do the same thing. This is a
Yeah.
fan fest,
Yep.
and it's a lot of fun. I see a Quattro coming
Yes. I already spotted that too. You have a keen eye, sir.
up. So
That'd be a UR Quattro.
what other cars have you seen? I mean, something caught your eye during the race or practice?
There's so many cool cars. Well, there's the short wheelbase version of this, so like the real S1 rally car that Walter Roll used to drive. This is actually an amazing car. I haven't seen this car, so fantastic to get to see it.
Look at this. It's beautiful.
I know. Yeah. If anyone's
Quality of this car.
Audi fans, that's it right there. That's heaven.
Yes.
And then Bimmer World guys. I used to race against these guys in World Challenge. James Clay and company. There's James over there by the car. I remember when he intentionally knocked me off the road at Lime Rock one time and then wouldn't apologize. But we won't talk about that now. But yeah, those are Bimmer World guys. They're racing in time attack class. So that's part of all the classes they have for Pikes Peak, from motorcycles to modified road cars. You got some Viper over there. There's a Gallardo.
So somebody's
yeah.
asking if somebody wanted to watch the race or have some
That
footage off of your car.
It's a good question.
How does that happen?
That's a good. Well, there'll be plenty of footage after the race. Obviously, Toyo, our sponsor, is going to put tons of content up on their website of our car. There's already been some videos made of the car, so that'll all happen. But the race you can watch live for the first time, and it's always been a challenge for Pikes Peak to actually broadcast it because the mountain is so big that even helicopters
Right.
flying, trying to bounce signals, it never works.
Right.
So now there's a company that came on board this year that ran fiber optic all the way from the top to the bottom. So they have 17 cameras on the way up the course.
Okay.
And so you can actually watch it online. So go to the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb website, and they have a link to the live stream, and it's going to be on this Sunday, the 25th. And it starts I think the live stream starts at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you got to do the math for wherever you live. But 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Pikes Peak International Hill Climb website, and that'll get you there. We had to stop. The traffic light turned red. Oh,
Oh, it's okay. We don't
all right.
care.
We're going to keep going.
We don't care.
All right.
There's a WRX.
Yes.
So
Just
obviously, I mean, there's
parked in the
different
middle of the
classes
street.
of cars
Tons
that
of
they're
classes. Yeah. And looks like they have a lot of show cars and all sorts of stuff here. But yeah, that's a cool car actually. Lane Strentz. It's a modified stock car, but it's very fast.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the guys do really well here because they are local or they run this every year, and they figured out how to set their suspensions up for all those bumps I was talking about. We basically had 3 days to try and sort through what these guys have been doing for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
So while our car is now faster, in the beginning these guys were faster than we were. It took us a few days to kind of get everything dialed in.
It just sounds insane. I mean, the weather can change at any moment. The road surface is odd. You're going at high speeds. I mean, it just sounds nuts.
Yeah, well, or if you're me, everything you just described sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, you can look at it
Yeah,
two ways,
that's right.
It can either be really fun.
The
or-
glass is half sane or half insane.
That's great. Okay, so we're getting into some bikes.
Yeah, KTMs. I got a couple KTMs. I like them. They're excellent motorcycles. They do well in the bike class. They, of course, a big rival is Ducati here, so it's usually KTM versus Ducati. And yeah, they're pretty cool. And I think these guys maybe are taking way more risk than I am, even though I go up quicker.
Yes.
I've got a full roll cage around me, and that feels pretty good. that was sort of the deal I made with my wife, by the way. It's like I'll race cars, but not motorcycles because they're safer.
Yes,
you know.
do have a roll cage. That's very important.
Yeah. So all that's kind of good.
So yeah, this is Colorado Springs, guys, and if you live in the area, come out and
come out to the Fan Fest. It's cool, and come up to the race. It's a crazy, amazing spectator event. You're going to have to get up ridiculously early in the morning, but you go up on the mountain and bring lots of clothes and some sandwiches and some coffee and some big thermoses and all that, and make a day of it. And it's really amazing to watch these cars come up the mountain because it's not like regular racing. We even had Sebastian, the aerodynamicist from Sauber, come over, the guy that designed the car. We took him up on the mountain this morning, and he's like, "This is a lot steeper and crazier than I thought."
Is this your mascot here?
No, that's not. Mine's a green bar of soap. That's clearly a blue bar of soap. So I don't, I'm an Irish Spring guy. How about you?
It varies. It varies. Whatever the hotel has.
Yeah, see, and you steal all that stuff anyway, don't you? I know, because you can put it in your Everest Expedition backpack, and then you're all dialed in. Being the Sherpa that you are, part-time.
All right, here's the Honda area.
Yeah.
Some other areas.
Well, there's an Evo, so there's some good stuff there. Yeah, there's the Acura TLX, and he did great. That's P.D. Cunningham, who's a really good friend. He was actually a mentor. The guy's been racing for so long, has like a bazillion championships. Okay. And he's racing the TLX, which is a World Challenge GT car, and he qualified, I think, second overall. So a really impressive run from PD.
Hey, there's a Toyo tires display.
Nice. Maybe we can get some free stuff since they're one of our sponsors.
Okay, let's. Anyway, guys, this is very exciting. It's getting loud, right?
Yeah, there's definitely there's bikes and music and looks like a stunt show or something going on up there.
Yeah, they're gonna jump some bicycles, right?
Oh, what?
Bicycles.
Yeah, I didn't know they are. Yeah. But that's cool. The GTR. Let's come on over here. Let's check this out. So this GTR we're running with them because they're Life Motorsports. They're also sponsored by Toyo. It's like a crazy horsepower GTR. Beautiful car. Look at the splitter on that thing.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. So, and look at these little wing extensions they have. It's just a crazy car.
An unlimited car?
It is. So it technically is racing against us. But this is the difference between our car and their car. Is this one's based on an actual road car. Ours is a hand-built prototype. So very different. So we have some advantages in weight. They have a little bit more horsepower, but they really need it. And then over here, check this out. This car's a little bit famous.
I see.
This is Ken Block's Unicorn. And so really cool car. Now it's turbocharged. It used to be fuel injected, but even more power than before. And if you've again seen these videos, who hasn't? The Ken Block videos.
Somebody's asking, what do you get if you win?
Respect of your peers and a check and a bag of peanuts like the airlines give you.
Somebody wants to see the Lamborghini.
Let's check it out.
Okay.
Murcielago. Good car. I'd love to test one on Fastlane car because I like the Murcielago. I think they handle better than the Aventador.
Well, we can take this one, right?
I think so. We should go ask them. We put them on camera right on the spot.
All-wheel drive. But not all these cars are racing. There are some race cars here and some show cars.
Yeah, there's a bunch that aren't. The Lamborghini's not racing, for instance.
Let's look at the motor here. Obviously, a 6.5 liter.
V12 goodness. Great motor. The sound of one of these at 7,000 to 8,000 RPMs will put the hair on the back of your neck straight up. Yep. It sounds amazing. Wonderful car.
We actually had one on our show
Fun to drive.
5 years ago.
Oh, it was before my time.
Yeah, a little bit before, and it was not on the racetrack, so we need to fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is pretty cool. It's like a twin turbo setup.
And talk about the
Dan November's cars.
Elevation is a tough environment. I mean, you're losing power.
You gotta have turbos or supercharger, but turbos are even better because you can keep cranking the boost as you go higher and higher. Supercharger, you're kind of fixed at whatever boost level the belt's turning the blower at. But yeah.
Are you adjustable boost or?
Oh, it compensates. It compensates as it goes. Okay. So we start at the bottom. We run like 18, 19 pounds, I think, and it should be that at the top. So the car, even though we're climbing almost 5,000 feet, will still be making 1,000 wheel horsepower at the top because we just keep on compensating.
People are asking about electric cars. I mean, some electrics are participating as well.
Not as many this year. They lumped them in with the gas cars, and so they wanted to have their own class. So I guess there's not as many here this year.
Okay.
But yeah, they can be good here. Pikes Peak is one of the places where electric cars can actually work.
Can you say one more time? People are asking what time does the race start and how does it work?
So 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and go to the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb website. And they'll have a link to the live feed that starts at 7:30, and it should run. The live feed's probably 6-7 hours long.
Well, it depends. I've been on the Pikes Peak Mountain before, and the race can go until like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Or they can delay it.
Red flags, weather,
Red
all that kind of
flags.
stuff. Yeah.
They could shorten the course if it snows. I mean, there's.
I hope none of those things happen.
Yes. me
Let's
too.
not talk about that.
All right, let's not. All right, well, Paul, thanks so much, and obviously we wish you.
Well, thank you,
Yes.
and thanks for buying my book.
Yes.
I appreciate that, and bringing
guys.
it here and letting me show everybody. So
Yes.
cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.